Media Literacy, the New Basic, is made possible by major funding from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, with additional support from Carnegie Corporation of New York, the Aaron Diamond Foundation, Toyota, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and viewers like you.
We and our children have to learn a whole new language made up of sound, image, text, and data bits. Call it media literacy. Call it the new basic. Children are spending more and more time with these technologies, especially television.
It's Miller time.
I'm a Terminator. Does this new media environment support our ideas about how we'd like our children to grow up?
These girls are ready to shop, so why don't you bring out the merchandise, baby?
He's a 22-year-old that works at a health club so he can get paid to work out.
Is the media environment our children live in beyond our control? Is there a connection between this unprecedented barrage of information and some disturbing trends?
Geared as such.
We go multimedia. We use the television over here and we buttress it with reading over here. That's the only way we're going to get a population intelligent enough to exercise its franchise knowingly. We should teach skepticism. That's what needs to be taught in all media, to be questioning about what you read, question what you hear, what you see on television. Check other media.
It's extremely important, I think, if democracy is to survive, that the people who vote have access to the facts. And not just facts, where they can sort out biases, where they can know whose axe is being ground, they can know the political climate, they can know the economic considerations of messages that are hurled at us all the time.
In our schools, every classroom in America must be connected to the information superhighway with computers and good software and well-trained teachers.
If every classroom gets wired to the information superhighway, then it's logical to assume that the deluge of information is only going to intensify. Does that strengthen the argument for educating our children to be media literate? Do we need a national policy on media literacy?
There are many media educators and scholars of media studies who would advocate there being, and I would too, a formal commitment to media education in the United States, preferably on the federal level and on state levels as well. Where I don't feel comfortable with it is if it has a strong political edge to it, and I don't think anyone's going to feel comfortable with that. I mean, if the government's going to try and push a particular orientation to the left or the right to the media, that's never going to fly. But if the idea is to enhance citizenry by making democracy work better, by developing a more critical citizenry that understands the different sources that one can get information and news from, and how to analyze that information, then I would think anyone who believes in the goals and the ideals of the Founding Fathers and so on ought to be on board. I think Jefferson would be on board for media education.
There will be a national policy for media literacy in our country, and it will be to the good of all people who vote. It'll be to the good of all people who work in electronic media. It'll be good even for the economic health. I think in a free enterprise system where you have competitive broadcasting, it will be served well by having a more media literate constituency.
I have a hunch that Thomas Jefferson might say that to keep democracy alive today, we need to be able to read all the media, not just books. But that doesn't settle the question about whose job it is, schools or families, to teach children how to read television and other media. That's for you to decide.
What's your perception of the stereotype?
They automatically have all the evidence and all the witnesses and everything they need to bring the guys they have to bring down.
On TV, they always catch the almost 3 months.